show you the grip last. There's a reason for it, but after you take the proper grip, here's how we learn how to hit a golf ball. Put your feet together and put the ball straight down between your feet. Taking the proper grip, as I said before, I'll show you after a while. Drop the club behind the golf ball and take the golf club here. At hip high position, in line with my hip, the toe of the club is straight up in the air. That's position number 1. Very slowly move the club from 1 to 2. That's right back to where I started from. That wasn't so hard. Number 3, we did the same thing on this side we did on that side. Take the toe of the club and point it straight up in the air. When you take the golf club and make that perfect circle, we're starting to play golf. Then you can play the game of golf. You do it from here to there. You'll notice the club face is always turning over. It's making the circle I described before. 1, 2, 3. As you're doing this, and some of you can do it right away, others will take a while before they can do it, then all you have to do is speed it up. You can do it as fast as you want to, as long as you hit the 3 positions that are absolute musts. Those are the musts of golf. I'm rolling my forearms. My forearms are going over. I'm not really rolling my wrist. There's no wrist action in golf. See, this would be wrist action. It's called hinging. Never happens. In other words, if I were to say, slap your face, like, you know, say, I would hit, but I wouldn't use your wrist. You wouldn't hit like this. Your hand would go over. That's how you do hit a golf ball. There's no question that all motivation's got to be in the forearms. That's what hits the golf ball. So as we move the club further and further back, after a while we'll split our feet apart. Right now, 1, rotate the forearm. 1, rotate the forearm. We're letting the club face turn over or down on the golf ball. Everybody in the world wants to take the club face and have it move this way through the golf ball. That's what causes the top shots. See, the top shots in golf, whenever somebody tops a shot, somebody says you looked up, or you didn't keep your left arm straight. They always say the same thing. And you see these guys out there trying very hard to go, but they're keeping their head down. They may be topping it, but they're going to keep their head down. Keeping your head down has nothing to do with it. You see, when I address the golf ball, I establish a suspension point. It's right here. All I'm doing is getting my left arm straight so I know how far away to put my chest. I've got this thing fully extended. There's only one place in the world I can hit the ground. It's right there. I don't have to look at it. I can pick my head up. As long as I don't move violently off the golf ball, which you'll never do. See, when you swing a golf club, you've got 80 pounds of pressure going in that direction. 80 pounds of pull going in that direction. It's hard for you to do this. Very hard for you to do that. So looking up is not the cause of it. And no one in the world has ever looked up to hit a golf shot. But what happens is this. They hit 1, then they come down to 2, and then they try to go up with the ball. See, they never hit number 3 position. When you do that, you can bet your life the ball is going to go right on the ground because they're trying to lift it up in the air. You must hit number 3 position or you're going to top it. 1, 2, now watch the club face. As it contacts the golf ball, it's like a revolving door. It keeps on closing. You have to keep it closing. If you put up a block here, I guarantee it's going to be on the ground or to the right or maybe still there. May not be gone whatsoever. 1, 2, 3. It's the same swing with every club in the bag. When you can do that, believe me, you can do everything in golf. I do the same swing with that with the driver. And the same swing I use for a chip shot. The same swing I use even for a putt in a miniature way. So the premise of all golf is to start like this. 1, 2, 3. As I say, you just keep on going. Now, going further on, as we want to take the club back further, we spread our feet apart. Why? Because it allows us to turn more. In other words, if I want to throw this golf club away or down somewhere, I just take my hand and throw it a few feet. If I wanted to throw it 50 yards, I guarantee you my body would turn to help me motivate my arms. But motivation is still in the arms. As I want to take this club back further, my body turns because my hand wants it to go back further. My body's set because my hand is going to throw the ball. But don't think for one reason that your body leads. People say, don't tell me, I saw it in Golf Digest, I saw the secret of golf. They say to me is, when you get to the top, Jack Nicklaus drives with that leg. See that? That's the secret of power. Let me tell you something. You know, the legs never hit a golf ball. You hit the golf ball as far on one leg as I can on 2 legs. The legs can't hit a golf ball. It looks that way. See, the movie picture camera came out and screwed everybody up a lot. Look at this golf club one time. Which end moves first when I go like that? Which end moves first? This end moves first, right? Logic. This end moves first, right? If you think about it, it's attached. It's got to move at exactly the same time. But it appears that this end moves first. Sure, my left arm's going to lead in the golf swing. If my right arm ever is in front of my left arm, I'm in a lot of trouble. It has to lead, but it's not pulling. Motivation's still in the back hand. This is doing the motivation. Sure, my leg is going to be down here first, because you're looking at this end. You always look at the tip of the arrow rather than the feathers. But actually, what I want to do from here is get this to move. When I want to throw a baseball, there's no question. I have to throw it from here. This is the only thing that's throw. I cannot do it with my legs. As I get to the top of the swing, this is not going to make my arms swing. The only way I can swing is for me to drop my forearms on the golf. Always. Now, I say I'm moving my forearms. Okay, I'll explain it to you this way. I pitcher throwing a ball. All these motions are the same. The pitcher is throwing a ball. His arm goes back. As he comes forward, his leg sets just before he throws. So he has something to throw again. You do that in the golf swing also. That's what your legs do in the golf swing. They are braces. So what am I doing? I'm going forward and setting my leg at the same time. I'm not doing this. You're not trying to say it has to always done at the same time, but the motivation still is in the back hand. I'm trying to take this club with this right hand and hit it as hard as I can hit it. Now the left hand's on the golf club and your left arm is extended. See, they say your left arm is supposed to be straight because the movie picture camera came out and they caught a guy at impact like this. They said, secret. Left arm straight, that's the secret. Not at all the secret. He was just caught in a sequence picture. From here, if they had kept the camera going, they'd have shown the left arm release on the side and go all the way through the shot. The left arm releases on the side. It does not remain straight or stiff through the ball. I told you, Hank Aaron could never hit a home run. His left arm was straight. Now, how does your left arm get straight in the golf swing? Because my right arm is folding up. See, if I just take my left hand and put it here on the edge of the golf club, take my right hand and get in a position to throw or load my gun, I fold it up. My left arm gets extended because my arm is pulling it. This hand is making this stay extended. My pivot point is here, my other pivot point is here. Don't think that this is making this bend. Now you have no motivation in the arms. See, anytime you do anything to interfere with 1, 2, 3, you're doing something wrong. And with a stiff left arm, you can never hit 3 position. Remember what we said before? The same thing must happen on both sides. The premise is the circle. We go back to the circle. If the same thing happens on both sides, we know at this position the right elbow is bent. We all do that. That's natural. Then what must happen on the other side? The left elbow must be bent. This is exactly the opposite of this. Now I have a true pendulum without interference. You know, power in the golf swing is not really produced. Power is nothing more than the absence of interference. All we want to do is get this golf club head in the right path and then not have to redirect it. If I get the club honestly in this path here, if I get it out here, I'm in trouble. I've got to redirect it. If I get the club in here and move it from here perfectly on this path, from 1 to 2 to release to 3. That's as far as you can hit a golf ball. Now that's power then is really the lack of interference or the absence of interference. The proof of that matter is a guy named Chichi Rodriguez, who I know personally. Chichi's a little older now, but believe me, he can still fly it. He's 130 pounds, and any woman here can beat him in an arm wrestling contest. He's a very nice guy, and he can flat kill it. Now, you know, he has no strength. It has nothing to do with muscles or legs or anything like that. He just got the club in the perfect path. From here, 1, 2, now don't interfere. 1. When you don't interfere on the way down, that's how you get maximum velocity. What do your legs do in the golf swing? Your legs establish the base. You must have a base, like I told you, the pitcher throwing the ball. If he throws a ball, if he didn't have a base, he'd fall down and could not throw very hard. So in the golf swing, your legs, by spreading them apart, you allow yourself to coil and release harder. You're just trying to coil and release your right arm again. Sam Snead said when he thinks about hitting a golf ball, he's hit it as hard as he can with his right hand. Many people thought it was the left hand. Believe me, your left hand has to do its work. It sets up a brace just like your right hand does, just like your left leg does. But the hit is with your right hand. Now, what do our legs do? They do this. By establishing a base, as I take myself back to this position, or coil, all I want to do is get my right arm folded up. I'm on this leg. If it were not there, I'd be spun out, and we call it the reverse pivot. So what your legs do is they establish a solid base. It's very much like a shortstop or a second baseman standing here getting ready to move. He's ready to go either way as fast as he can. He's all set to move. You don't want to stand there locked-legged. Now you can't turn. All we're doing by bending our knees is allowing ourselves an ability to make the right arm fold up or cock or coil. With our legs straight, you can't do it. You'll take the club to the outside. And we have to get the club around to the inside. So your legs are solid. They do this. This is your brace. As you come down, that's all you do with your left leg is stay right there. Now, most people I see playing golf want to hit it with their left side. What do? They get up to the top. They take that left side and just turn. And when you spin out this brace here, you can't play. Because now you've broken down the base. From here, if you pull that left hip out of the way, all you got to do now is block. Whereas if the left leg were here, now I can go to 3. That's why I asked you to learn it by putting your feet together. With your feet together, you'll always have your base. It's very much of just playing golf on one leg, but at least you can't spin out. Oh, let's go straight, too, from that position. So that's the role the legs play in the golf. When your right leg's your brace, your left leg's your brace. All we're doing is here. Don't think about turning. Now, I'm not saying your body doesn't turn in the golf swing. Again, I'm not saying that's not true, but that's a result, not a cause. The cause or the effect of everything that's happening, the cause of all of that's happening is the hands. The hands and the forearm. See right here. But don't misunderstand that. I don't want your hands ever working against each other either. If I take my left hand and push this way, my right hand and push this way, they'll come out even. We want everything to go in the same direction at the same time. Let me show you how to hold that golf club then. We're trying to be neutral. I want to be as neutral as I can be. If I set up a block anywhere, I have to make compensation. And one compensation goes to another, and pretty soon you're in trouble again. So we want to stand up to the ball as even as possible. We get our legs set, even as possible. How do we do it with the hands? Well, we want our palms to be opposed to each other, facing each other. The easiest way I know of teaching you how to hold a golf club is with the club to the left of your left foot. Let your hand hang down, and with the tip of your forefinger, stop the club from falling on the ground. Just the tip of my forefinger. Curling my hands, my fingers up, I close my fingers and put my thumb down on top of the shaft. By lifting that club with my little finger, see, I'm supporting the club with the pad of my hand. The little finger and the pad of my hand are holding the golf club. Then just close your fingers and put your thumb down on top of the shaft. I like to tell people that the left hand is on the left side of the shaft. It is not directly on top. Everybody wants to get it up on top. That's because it gets the left arm straighter. But we know better than that, don't we? Put it to the left side of the shaft. Your left thumb's right on top of the shaft. Your right hand, this row of pads where your fingers join your palms, that hand goes directly on top of the golf club. Curl your fingers up and slide your hands together. Here you can do whatever you want. Fine players play like that. Other fine players overlap. Other fine players interlock. It really doesn't make too much difference. We're just trying to make both hands together. I just overlap them. It's just by preference. You don't have to. To finish the grip or to unite the hands, all we do is fold our right thumb over our left thumb. Now our right thumb goes down the left-hand side of the shaft, and when I get all done, I would leave go of the club, my palms would be facing each other. That's where I want them to be. Another way of seeing if your grip is correct is this. When you get done, take your left hand off the club, and your right hand should be in a position so you can very easily hit the ball right into the ground. You just hit it right straight like a hammer. Just hit it right straight into the ground. The right hand is on top of the golf club, pushing down on the club. From this position, and only from this position, can I turn the club over, which you have to do. This little action I'm showing you right here is probably the most important action in the world. Very few people can do it. No, we can all do it. Everybody can do it. Matter of fact, you give some little kid a stick or something and tell him to go whack dandelions, he'll just walk along and whack dandelions just like that. Notice how his hand is turning over? That's what we're trying to make you learn in golf. Why don't you do it that way? Because you've been taught to keep your left arm straight and to keep your head down. Those two things have destroyed the release. So you never ever got the release you need. From here, you were just like a race car, maybe going 0 to 50 to 75 to 100 to 150 miles an hour, and then somebody put the emergency brake on by putting this here. This is the brake. You can't have it. Your brace is here. Now you have to hit over that brake. This has to release so that the right hand can go over your left. That's the release we got up here, remember? That's the release we have to have on the other angle. It's the same thing with chip shots. It's the same thing with drivers. It's the same thing with everything in the bag. There's only one motion, and that motion, I flat guarantee you, is right here. 1, 2, 3. But if you don't learn how to release the left arm, Hogan said that's probably the most important thing. That's what Hogan thinks is the most important thing. Because you guys screw the game up. You make the game so difficult. Just turn your left arm over. Hogan's a man of very few words. But he's so right. He can say it all right there. This left arm must release. See, most people feel, you can see the people sometimes taking practice swings going like this. Boy, that's really good. They just get that left arm go way out there like that. It's just 100% wrong. We don't want to do that. We want the left arm to work like this. That's how we want it to work. That's release. So your left arm has to release on the golf club. Your right hand turns over your left. How's that, Salvador? I've covered most of it. I'm sure there's things I can cover a few more things like spins on a golf ball. What makes a golf ball spin? People say to me, I give $1 million if I can hook a golf ball. I wish I could get $1 million for all the people that said that. They never pay off. They just keep saying that to me. But hooking a golf ball is no deep down secret that's only known to PGA members. Hooking a golf ball is very, very simple. The ball has no mind of its own. It's just laying there. If I hit the golf ball square, it's going to go straight. If my club face is toed in, that is, if the toe is more advanced than the heel at a draft, at impact rather, the toe is more forward than the heel, the ball will slide from toe to heel, putting this type of spin on the golf ball. Now, if I want to do that, you don't have to drop your foot back or get your hand underneath or twist your hand over or do anything like that. All we got to do is start with the face crooked. If this hits the ball straight, then if I start with the face crooked, that is, put the toe in front of the heel, just ever so slightly. If I take exactly the same swing, I guarantee the ball spins that way. See, there was no secret to that. Want to see a slice? Yeah. Everybody can do that. All you got to do is keep your left arm stiff. I know, everybody's doing that. Yeah, everybody slices. Now, why does everybody slice? Do you understand the logic of it now? Because they did not release. In other words, they did not get to here to the door jam and then release it. They got to here and just kept right on going. You got that left arm straight. Oh, if you want to slice the golf ball on purpose, all I do is keep my left arm straight, but otherwise just spin the blade open. If you take exactly the same, actually that's a good top. If you take exactly the same swing, the ball has to go to the right because the heel is more advanced than the toe. Do you follow what I mean there? And so that's the secret of spin. People ask me different kinds of questions like, well, do you have any individual questions you want to ask me? I can't even think of any right now. Some people ask me all kinds of them.
What makes you turn to the left?
Hit the ball to the left?
Yeah, just slice to the left.
You mean left, you don't mean slice, you mean pull.
Slice to the left.
Okay, you pull
How can you correct your stop from doing this?
Step left side brace. See, the reason you pull the ball to the left, okay, assuming I'm lined up correctly, watch my left side. If my left side brace breaks down, there's no question the ball's got to go to the left. My left side brace broke down. So you can't have that. Your legs are important in that they're the stance, the brace, you stand on them. That's your solidness. There's your base. Now you fight. See, if you start getting sloppy with that, what usually happens on something like that is this. The guy's got his left arm straight. Now he knows it's going to go over there. He's afraid of it. He's going to try it. Now he gets up here, he's afraid it's going to go to the right, so what does he do? He starts spinning out, trying to make the ball go to the left. As he does that, if he closes the face, it's going to go left. If he leaves it open, it's going to go slices like that. But it all comes from spinning out. We cannot let the left hip spin. What actually happens in the golf swing is the left leg is solid and the right leg goes around it. The right side just goes around your left side. Don't think your left side pulls out of the way, because that ain't going to do it.
So you're holding so much 60-70% of your weight on your left side?
Well, you get onto it. Just like a pitcher when he throws a ball, he gets onto it. You know what I mean? You start with your weight in the middle, and as you're going forward, everything's going in that direction, your left leg just stops and gets solid. Don't let it spin out. Don't pull with your left side. Fire your right side. You fire this side around the stationary left side. See, everybody's trying to pull down with their left hand. That's why most people slice. They get up here to the top somewhere and somebody said, pull the butt end down. Well, just pull it straight down. Well, it's got to go right over there. Think about a baseball batter who goes like this. It's too late now. You know, I'm trying to check the swing and then tries to get it around. It's too late. Once you pull the bat forward, this will never get around. You cannot release a club too soon. Don't believe anything about late hit. Now, you'll see pictures about it, and Golf Digest will write about it, but boy, just let me explain that to you. What you do in a golf swing and what happens in a golf swing and what you do are two different things, or what you try to do are two different things. Explain that to you. When I'm here, I want to hit the golf ball, I just take my right arm and straighten it out. That's as fast as I can do it. I can't do it any faster than that. If in the actual golf swing, what happens is this. Because there is a weight here and drag, slow motion will show this is going to happen, and later on it'll explode into the shot. Sure, that does happen in a golf swing, but don't ever try to hold your hands back. You'll never get them around in time. Now you're making a natural action an unnatural action. You follow that? In other words, I know the wrist will be delayed. The picture will show a person going like this. And then at the last second, because at the apex of a pendulum, the pendulum must be straight, it'll snap and catch up, and then turn over to number 3 position. That may happen in a golf swing, but my God, don't ever try to do it. All you're trying to do is get it from here. 1, as fast as I can drop it, just drop it. Believe me and trust me, you cannot release the club too soon. But if you're pulling it to the left, it's probably because you're breaking down your left side brace. If you're slicing a golf ball, it's because your left arm is too straight. You're hitting fast, so you're hitting on top, you're hitting behind the golf ball. You know what that is? 9 out of 10 times, they miss number 1 position. You go like this. See, that's not number 1, is it? You remember that? That's number 1. Now my arms are level. They're even. My shoulders are even. I'm like this. My right arm is pushed up into my socket. I have to come down like that. That's why you hit it fast. So if you hit the ball fat a lot, it's because you're not hitting number 1 position. If you're topping it a lot, it's because you're not hitting number 3 position. So all of the faults can be corrected if you can honestly hit 1, 2, 3. If you can really hit those positions, the rest takes care of itself. The body turn in the golf swing is the result. As I said before, if I want to throw this club, my body will follow. It does not dictate. Again, I say to you, pictures will show the opposite. You'll say, boy, those pictures, see, when he gets up to his top, his legs are so far in front of his hands. I'm trying as fast as I can to move these hands, but because of weight and drag, it's not coming around yet. It'll come, though. But if you try to hold them back, you're too late. You cannot release the club too soon.
You kind of keep the shoulders square. You don't drop that right shoulder.
No, if you would, what I want to do in the golf swing is this. I can just swing it like this. Again, I'd be happy.
You don't drop it, you turn it.
Now, again, in the actual golf swing, because of weight and drag, if you take pictures and show what the pictures are like, this is going to drop. There will be a drop in the shoulder. But if you try to drop it, you can have a reverse shift again and go the wrong direction. See, again, if you just look at pictures, you come up with wrong conclusions. Golf swing is nothing more than that. 1, 2, 3. Now that's done with the arms. Remember you asked me before, am I rolling my arms over? Remember that question? Right. Watch my arms. There's no question I roll them over. Okay? Now, during the course of an actual golf swing with a longer shot, I'll have a stance. Somewhat, my feet will be spread apart a little bit. Now I'm going to let my body go with me. Just like my body goes with me. When I throw a club, I'll watch my whole right side just go with me. I didn't say it went in front. No, it just goes with me. In other words, I don't want to throw across my body. I just want to go with it. That's a natural motion. If that happens, watch what happens to my arms. I no longer have to twist them. Because my shoulders are rotating naturally, I no longer have to twist. The more I rotate here, the less action I have to do with my hand. I can make the club hit that position without twisting my hand. See what I'm saying? From here to there. Now I'm not doing this anymore. If I'm standing still, I must rotate my arm. If I'm letting my body turn or rotate with me, you don't have to. So there's left hand action. I'm making you very aware of your hands, and I know many golf instructors say that's the worst thing in the world because hitting the ball with your hands is an inconsistent way of hitting it. I'm convinced for the average player it's the only way. Now, I know Jerry Payton, Watson, and the rest of these guys on the tour. I know all of them. And they all try to keep their hands quiet. There's no question about it. But they've got their body moving here. Their arms are moving in the correct position. I maintain that you have got such a bad premise that's been taught to you by PGA professionals, and I was one of them 2 years ago, that we've got you screwed around backwards. So we got to go back to square one. And the only way to hit a golf ball effectively is this way. And if you do that with your hands, I'm sure that's better than most of you can hit it with all your whole body.
The more you read, the more you screw up.
That's exactly right. It's very, little knowledge is a very bad and dangerous thing. That's why I asked you for your attention now for these last 15 minutes or as long as it's been. I think now you've got an understanding of what the whole thing's about. See, I don't want you to swing like me. And I don't want you to swing like Nicholas. And I don't want you to swing like Watson. I want you to swing like you. We all walk. Do you know that we all walk different? A blind man could tell you who you were about it if you walked into a room. But we don't know. I just walk. Now, on the other, I could say, how do you walk? Well, you get the shoulder forward, you keep this knee straight, and you bend this knee, and you bring this arm back, and then you can, my God, I can make it very, very complicated. Or I could say you kind of lean forward, but you feel you're going to fall down and put a leg out to stop yourself, and that's the easiest way of doing it. See, and that's, I want to go back to the other way of doing it. What are we trying to do? What are we trying to do? Put that thing right here between these two shoulder points, because they have two arms, right? Put it right between them. Take the blade and go like that. 1, 2, 3.
Is that where you line it up on your...
Right here. Now people say, wait a minute, I heard that you're supposed to put the driver up here and a 5-iron here and a 9-iron here. Now let's be logical. I got to have 5 different swings if I want to hit 5 different places. I want to just take one swing. One swing, that's all I want to do. Put the ball in the same place for every club. Now the club might get longer and it might get shorter, but don't think about it in relation to your feet. Don't get your feet too far apart. Here's what I'm trying to say.
What's too far apart?
Well, if they're too far apart, now I can't turn. Now I can't turn at all. I can't get over to the left side. I like to see them hold shoulders width or less.
Does your height dictate how far apart they should be?
No, I don't think it's your height. The taller the person, the more narrow the stance would be. The shorter person might take a little more wide stance. But I'm trying to say is that you have to get, if you're too wide, you got to reverse pivot now. See, this is going the wrong direction. Now when I hit the golf ball, this is going the wrong direction. I got my hip going in this direction. I'm trying to hit the ball in that direction. I want everything to go in that direction when I hit it. That's like the secret of power again. You don't produce power. Just don't stop it. Don't get interference with it. If your feet are too far apart, you'll reverse pivot. So you can't get up. Too far ahead of you. So get your feet apart, but not too far apart. What was I talking about with you with the feet? Oh, where to play the ball? Yeah. So I spread my feet apart. I can put my feet together and have the ball straight down from my belly button. Okay? Here, I'll hit something right here. Stay still. Okay. Right down from the middle of my feet. Okay, that's wonderful. Now I'm going to take the same thing, right down my belly button, but I put my foot over here. It's still straight down from my belly button. My arms are up here. This is what's going to hit the golf ball. My arms are swinging from my shoulders. Now I can play the ball off my right foot. As long as it's straight down from my belly button, I don't care. But on the other hand, I can't take this golf ball and put it up there and hit it. This is the center point between my shoulders. That's where the ball has to be. Don't put it up there, put it straight down here. So all I'm trying to say is, I like to say just straddle the ball. It's a lot easier. Sure, the ball could be slightly ahead of center. Let's not make it complicated. Dead center's easiest. Just take your hand and go from here to there. I've got to impress you with the fact the club face must turn down in the golf ball. From here, the club face goes down and over and keeps on turning over. That's the hardest thing for people who have never done it before to conceive. You can't really get that position.
And then when you do a high finish, when you hit hard?
Sure, well, the high finish comes from hitting number 3 position. See, if I hit number 1, 2, if I hit number 3 position, I guarantee you the club is going to pull me into a finish automatically. But if you're in this position, you can't finish. And the other position, you can't finish. You know, you get a lot of guys that want to go hit golf balls, get it something like this. That's not good. That ain't going to make it.
John, what do they mean when they say you swung too hard?
You can't really swing too hard. What usually means when they say they swung too hard, you spin.
They fall out.
You spin out. That's what you mean by swinging too hard. A lot of people try to get power by going spinning. But that's what usually happens. Instead of understanding the motion's got to be in here.
I've seen them fall down.
Well, that's because of the left side spin. If you set up a left side brace, you can't spin out. You won't be too violent. You can't swing a club too fast. As long as I hit 1, 2, 3, I can't swing it too fast. And their body's out in front of their hands. Their body's out in front of their hands.
And they go like that.
Salvador, watch. If I take this club and throw it, I guarantee my body has to come with me to throw it. On the other hand, if I get out in front, I can't throw it. I have to go out and swing that. That's what happens if they swing too fast or spin out. They get the body in front of their hands, which is wrong. As far as keeping your head still, don't try to keep your head still. That's another fallacy. Let me tell you about it. Your head has actually got to move in a golf swing. It has to move somewhat. It moves just enough to allow you to get behind the golf ball and through the golf ball. When I go in that direction, I want everything to go in that direction. People tell me they want to stay behind the golf ball. You'll top it a lot trying to stay behind the golf ball. When they say what they mean about staying behind the golf ball is this. After you've addressed the golf ball on a big swing, and I mean this is for the tour players, I'll explain to you what it means. When they turn the club away and load their gun, they've turned so far away that their shoulders are behind a line that's straight up from the golf ball. They're not in this position. But it's such a... I really wouldn't worry about it. That's what they mean. But others, I don't want you to think that this is what they mean by staying behind the golf ball. They don't mean that at all. I want my head to go in that direction when I hit a golf ball. Because that's where I'm going to hit it. I want my head going in that direction. Everything goes in that direction.
Not your belly, but your head.
Everything. Yeah, that's right.
Well, they always say your belly.
There's reverse C and all that stuff. No, you'll hit it over there.
Right.
You'll top it. That reverse C is... Again, that's because they try to emulate the pictures in the golf swing. You don't try to do that. I'm trying to swing the club as level as I can. I don't do it too often, but that's what I'm trying to do. Yeah. Well, that's just about it. Any other questions?
If your upper body gets ahead of the ball,
yeah.
Is that a cause of hitting it down into the ground?
Well, hitting down into the ground, yeah, that could be if you're moving that far forward. If you're moving your head before your hand, that's giving it straight down into the golf ball. You'll top the tee shot. I mean, your sky tee shots, they go straight up in the air. Yeah. Otherwise, hitting behind the golf ball is caused from that. That's caused of you sitting behind. You got the face closed here. If you get into that position here, now my arms are level. They're both the same height. I can easily throw a basketball or something. If I get like this, I can't. I'm tilted again. See, so when you address the golf ball, it's a great thing if you hold the club right here. It's easy. There's where I want it to be. I want my shoulders and arms to be as level as they can be. I don't want to get it in here. Now I've set up a block. Now I can try as hard as I want to. It's just not going to go anywhere. It just isn't going to go anywhere. You've got nothing to hit with. You're not in a position to strike. The only way you can strike a golf ball is to be level, be balanced, and then load this gun. Right here. This is if I want to throw the baseball. If I want to throw it, I guarantee you got to load this. That's what's going to throw it. This ain't going to make it. You'll never do it with your left arm.
Then put square on the top and then open.
That's square right there.
Right there.
That's square. The toe of the club is straight up in the air. Take it back further, just take it up over your head. That's all you got to do. We're trying to get back to here. 1 to 2 to 3. I got to believe that this is the thing that everybody misses.
That's the key.
Right here. They do not release it through here. There's another way of saying it. Look at it. Suppose this club right here. This belly club's at my belly button right now. As it goes through, it's always pointing at my belly button. That means I've got a perfect release. That's the only way you can make a circle. If at any time it goes this way, I sliced it, I shoved it, I pushed it, it has to go with you. So what we're really trying to do is get everything to go in the same direction. Same time. That's the way you play golf.
Okay, so the first thing you do is you get your alignment? Is that what
Oh yeah. You have to position the ball correctly. Let me tell you something. Position is not important in golf. It's everything. It's everything. That's all there is to it. Get behind the golf ball and get your blade set first. You have to get your blade towards the line of flight. Then put your feet together and get perpendicular to the blade. A line perpendicular to that. Now I've got the ball straight down from here. If I simply hit 1, 2, 3, the ball's got to go right there.
How do you know you're lined up in the correct?
Well, you won't know that for a while. You'll need some help from a friend with golf clubs. Lay a club down. No, lay 2 clubs down, like railroad track. That's what you try to do. Your ball is on one railroad track, and you would stand on a parallel track, the other railroad track. With the club pointing at your belly button, if you were to look straight down, you'd see the letter H. 2 lines this way, and a hit line this way. That's perfect. Now you're ready to take exactly the right swing. You just put this on the railroad track you're standing on, go to the other railroad track, and then put it on the railroad track you're standing on. Just making this perfect circle. How's that?
Very good.
Pass it up. Let's go get a drink or
Hot.
something.
Excellent. Very nice.
Got it.
Very good. Very good.
Service levels all clearly defined, you'll easily be able to control your processing costs.
Okay, so far it seems reasonable, Steve.
Well, what I'd like to have you do is take another look at this compact service level, and let me show you exactly what you get from that return.
Okay.
All right. Now, once we receive your input forms, we're going to process the return, and we'll send you back collated, signature-ready copies of the federal and state tax return. All right. On the preparer's copy, we'll start off with our diagnostic report. Now, you'll notice these diagnostic messages are arranged in the order of their importance, and that's going to facilitate your review of the return when it comes back to your office. You know, we talked earlier about tax computations. You'll notice here that in this return we tell you that income averaging was used to complete the return, and it resulted in a tax savings of $2,200.
Oh, that's quite a return, Steve. That
Now,
really is.
take a look at the next page. This is our billing statement. And on this page, we detail out the forms and schedules that were processed as part of that return. Take a look over here on the left-hand side and tell me if that combination of forms and schedules doesn't remind you a lot of the returns you're currently putting out of this office.
It sure looks like a lot of the returns I do, Steve.
Well, John, if you like that, take a look over on the right-hand side where you'll see the billing detail for that return. You'll notice that even though the itemized forms and schedules come out to a total of $31.25, because this returns as a compact, we've automatically limited the maximum price to $23. John, there's not a return on the marketplace and return in the marketplace that can beat this return for output or cost. Take a look through that return. You'll see it's all printed out on IRS facsimile forms, fully collated and signature ready. Now, when you come to Schedule B, you'll see that the interest and dividend detail that we looked at back on Interview Form 3 is all printed out for you.
Absolutely.
Now, would you be satisfied giving your clients a return that looked like that?
Well, it sure is a fine-looking return. Well, it sure is a fine-looking return, Steve.
Well, John, now you've agreed that CompuTax can save you professional time. We can assist you in producing the highly accurate, professional-looking product you demand in your practice and can save you money. Now, how many returns are you going to be putting on CompuTax this year?
Well, Steve, I'm just not sure I want to proceed with this right now. Well, Steve, I'm just not sure I want to proceed with this right now.
Well, John, there must be something that's still bothering you. If you'll tell me what it is, let me see if I can clear it up.
Well, Steve, I'm not sure that I can control those service levels. Well, Steve, I'm just not sure that I can control those service levels.
Well, John, let's go back and take another look. Now, you remember that on each one of the input forms, the forms are clearly coded, so at all times you know exactly what service level you're dealing with.
Okay, I remember that.
Okay, now as an additional control too, we've included an estimated service level checkbox here on Interview Form 1. Now, prior to submitting the return to CompuTax, you can estimate what level you expect the return to process out at. Now, if for any reason we have to upgrade that return to a higher processing level, we'll inform you in our diagnostic report exactly where or when you overstep the boundaries of that lower service level. If we can downgrade the return, that's going to be done automatically by our programs. This estimated service level checkbox is going to have you comfortable with these forms in no time.
Sure sounds like it.
Now, we've got free training seminars that we hold in the fall, all right, and they're going to further reinforce your understanding of these service levels.
I see.
Now, last and probably the best, CompuTax also has a new user service. Now, if you'd like, you can have your first 30 returns reviewed by the CompuTax technical staff before and after processing. If we locate any problems, we'll inform you of what happened to those returns, and if for any reason you want to rerun that return, you can do so at no additional cost. Now, does that make you feel a little more comfortable about how these service levels work?
Well, I feel a lot better now, Steve. That's really quite a system you've got there. Well, Well, Steve, I feel a lot better now. That's really quite a system you've got there.
Well, John, thanks very much. How many returns will you be putting on Computax this year?
Well, being a kind-hearted Irishman, I think I'll give you 100. All 100 of them.
Thank you very much. Today, the manual practitioner, whether he's a member of a Big 8 firm or a small one-man practice, is constantly under pressure to extract the most production from the professional time he has available. Now, you've just seen how the CCH Computax 1040 service can be the answer to his individual preparation needs. Next, we're going to take a look at the Computax Corporation return, which will provide the manual preparer the same benefits in the preparation of his business returns. Now, you're going to notice there are many similarities between the individual and corporation return preparation. Both returns are made up of a large amount of repetitive data, which the manual preparer finds himself copying over year after year. Both returns contain a large number of tax computations,